Jose, when Newcastle eventually won a trophy, you must have watched that. How did you feel, and did you think of Sir Bobby, what he would have felt on that day?
Yeah, you know. Sir Bobby is a legend here, and in England, when you are a legend, there are many reasons to be a legend. He loved this club. He gave everything to this club. Of course, he would be so happy with that victory in the cup. I was very happy. I know that is not the target. I know that Newcastle and all the Georges, what they want is bigger than the League Cup, but the League Cup is a beginning. To play in the Champions League is another very important step, and I think the club goes in the right direction. Many clubs with new owners, with fresh money, lots of wrong decisions, lots of ups and downs. Newcastle, since the moment they have the new ownership, Eddie, stability, they change sports directors for obvious reasons. That's the new football is like that, but lots of stability. The profile of the players, I never see a player that Newcastle get that doesn't fit a model, doesn't fit a profile. They do things really, really well. That's why they are where they are. So I'm so happy with that. I congratulate Eddie and the club and the fans and Lady Elsie Robson and the three boys and the grandsons. I think they are so happy to be like the legacy of Sir Bobby.
Josie, I think there's a feeling around about these parts that currently Newcastle are in a little bit of a transition. There was the Alexander Isak saga in the summer. Of course, he left for a British transfer record. They've since signed Nick Volterman for a club record transfer fee. I wonder, looking from afar, I know you've been busy yourself, but I wonder what you made of all of that.
You know, what happened with Isaac in the summer is very difficult for a club, very difficult for a coach, and very difficult even for the fellow players. I think in the end everybody knows that he's going to leave to Liverpool, but one thing is everybody knows he's going to leave, and another thing is done. When it's done, you move on. When it's done, you have a new player. When you have a new player, you train and you adapt to play with a new player, because of course Isaac and Voltermate, they are different players. But again, that's what I was saying. There is always a period of transition for new players. It looks like this boy is here all his life because he's performing, he's adapted, he's loved by the fans. Newcastle is doing the things right. Is doing the things right.
Good evening. You know from your experience in the Premier League how difficult it is to come and win at this stadium, and you spoke to the Portuguese press about that. Can you just tell the English media, what have you been telling your players about what it would be like to play under the lights at St James's Park in the Champions League? I
told them that is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Even as an opponent, it's beautiful. Of course, they are going to play with the Newcastle players, but I think they will respect us as an opponent. They will respect our game. They will respect if we are going to be successful. It's beautiful to play here. It's a different profile than to play in the London stadiums, and we have to cope with that emotion. We have to cope with it. We have to be strong enough to cope with it. But as I was saying, players they have to enjoy, and I think they are going to do it. It's going to be difficult for us. We have to try to impose our qualities, which are different qualities than Newcastle. But in some moments where Newcastle impose things where they are superior than us, we have to cope with it, and we have to be ready to suffer on the pitch, because it will be a very difficult match.
Here, please.
Hi, Jose. One theme, three questions. Did you ever come close?
3 questions.
One theme.
Oh, we have to dinner. One question, please. One question.
Did you ever come close to managing Newcastle? If not, do you wish you had have done? And is it the only club you would return for in the future?
Never close, no. Close to come with Sir Bobby. But was a moment in my career where I made my mind and I knew the direction I wanted to go. And I think one of the qualities of an assistant is to be ready to give everything and to focus only on your boss and the club and not on yourself. And that possibility came in a moment where I was already thinking about myself, I was already thinking about my career, and I never wanted to be an assistant coach when I was not ready to give everything. And then lots of talk, media talk, but honestly I was never contacted by Newcastle, never.
Okay, in white, please.
Anyone who knew Sir Bobby knew he adored you. He absolutely loved you and cherished his time with you. How important was he in terms of launching you into the career that you ended up having as a manager, while having as a manager?
One thing is the opportunities that he gave me. He took me to Barcelona, and for a young guy to go to Barcelona and to have the opportunity to stay there as long as I stayed, because I stayed there even after Sir Bobby. I stayed there 3 more years, so it was an incredible experience for me. And that door is a huge door that was only opened by Sir Bobby. The second thing is what I've learned at the football level and at the human level. And the third thing was the trust that he put in myself, which made me, especially at that period, because now is more like that, but at that period assistant coaches were very limited in their area of action. Nowadays is different. Now assistant coaches, they are more important, they have more freedom, they have more responsibilities in hands. He put a lot of trust on me, so of course I consider that it was very important for my career. I tried to pay with everything that I gave. And what did I give him? I don't know. I only know that I gave everything I had, and that for me is enough.
Jose, when you left England a few years ago, could you ever have imagined coming back here to Newcastle United to face them in the Champions League? And when you're here, do you feel closer to Sir Bobby?
When I walk here, I feel close. When I walk here, I change a few words with him. And it's a great emotion. When I left England a few years ago, yes, I thought that Newcastle was not far from it. In fact, the first time they played Champions League was already 2 or 3 years ago. So this is a process for them. And yes, I always thought that would be coming. When I left England, I went to Roma, where I played Conference League and Europa League, so no chance to be back. In Fenerbahce, as you know, we beat Feyenoord, but then we lost against Benfica on the playoffs. But now to be here is also great for me, in spite of I have, I don't know, almost 200 matches in the Champions League. I don't know, 150, 200, but something like that. Champions League, and is always a great emotion. And I wanted to say something, and I forgot. I want to express my condolences to Stuart Pearce and his family. Very sad news. Stuart, a great guy. So please, through you, my condolences to Stuart.
Last question here.
Hi, Jose. Do you regret not managing at this club, which you appear to have affection for? And is it something you've ruled out in the future, or could that still happen one day?
I don't regret because I never had a chance to. I never told no to Newcastle United. I told no to many clubs in my career, always with huge respect, but sometimes I had to say no, I'm not interested, no, it's not the right time. I've never been contacted by Newcastle United at any moment, so I don't regret anything. And to be honest, now I don't think they need a coach. I hope that they don't need in the next years, which means that everything goes well for the club and for Eddie, which is what I wish. But in the top of that, in this moment of my career, wouldn't be another club where I could be happier and more motivated than I am at Benfica. So I wouldn't change Benfica for any club in this moment.
Thank you all. Good evening.
Thank you, everyone.